Hi everybody and welcome to the Biology Breakdown YouTube channel. This is my first video introducing this channel, and I'm just going to be going over my plans for this channel and some future ideas and what this entire channel is about. So I've decided to create 6 main topics that we're going to cover, and then within each main topic we're going to have 10 subtopics, and then it'll take however many videos it will take to get the information across. So starting off with anatomy and physiology. Anatomy and physiology is the science of the structure and function of living systems. So we're going to be looking at the why and how of organ systems, how these organ systems work by themselves, and how they also work in combination with other organ systems to create the human body. So examples would be the skeletal system, the muscular system, cardiovascular system, digestive system, reproductive system, and things of that nature. Moving on to zoology. Zoology is the study of animals, and it is one of my favorite topics to cover in biology. We're going to be looking at a bunch of different phyla, and then within each phyla, look at anatomy and physiology, reproduction, behavior, and phylogenetic relationships, like looking at the most recent common ancestors. Examples of phyla we'll be looking at are Porifera, Cnidaria, fish, and mammals. Next is plant biology, and I feel like plant biology does get a bad rep for being not very interesting, but I promise I will be making it as fun and enjoyable as possible. So we'll be starting off with the first plants, so looking at the bryophytes and the seedless vascular plants, moving our way up the hierarchy to seed plants and flowering plants, going through the anatomy and physiology of the plants like leaves, stems, roots. And then we'll also be looking at transgenic plants and genetic modification. And this will allow us to look into the benefits and the cons of genetic modification, and also the benefits that plants have economically, physiologically, and socially in our society. So looking at evolution, we'll be starting off with evolutionary scientists and the origin of evolution, like Charles Darwin, who is the absolute king of evolution. And then from there on, we'll be looking at natural selection, variation and mutation, genotype and allele frequencies, and the Hardy-Weinberg principle. So we'll be able to do some calculations. Also looking at asexual and sexual selection and breeding. Next, in cell biology, I think cell biology is one of the most primitive areas of biology that you can learn about because, as we know, all living organisms are composed of cells. Even humans have 75 trillion cells, so I think it's super important just to know the basics of cell biology because cells are involved in every area of biology that you ever learn about. Specifically, we'll be talking about the organelle structure and function in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic organisms, in animal cells and plant cells, macromolecules, metabolism, membrane structure and transport, and also cell-to-cell communication. Lastly, in genetics, genetics is a study of inheritance and heredity, and genetics is highly connected to evolution because the creation of mutations is why we have natural selection and why we have evolved as a human race. We're going to be looking at the structure of DNA, DNA replication, transcription, and translation, mutations, mitosis, meiosis, and sex-linked traits. So moving on, I just sort of want to cover the content that this channel is going to have. So as a university student myself, I think it's most appropriate for this content to be directed towards university and college students. I think that some of the more basic, concrete, foundational content will be okay for advanced 12th grade biology, but more of the complex ideas I think are just more appropriate for university and college students. Also, the content will be coming from my own notes, textbooks, and academic articles and journals. And after each video, I'll just link the textbook in the description for the textbook that I'm using. So if you want to look at the textbook or read it, you can reference it there. I plan to start each lesson with the major goals of the topic. So I'll probably just put a list and I'll make sure that we have 3 main goals that we're going to be covering every single video. And then I'll end the lesson with quizzes. I think quizzes at the end always help me retain the information better, and I can sort of apply the basics that I've learned to an application question or a situation. And then looking at the sticky note at the bottom, it's just a list of some future plans that I have. I think once this YouTube channel sort of gets going and I have time to sort of delve into these new ideas, then I'd love to present pathology, oncology, mineralogy from one of my roommates. She can come help and explain, and also parasitology. So I think those would all be awesome to learn about. Depending on how this YouTube channel goes, if people want that sort of content. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to teaching everybody about biology. So if you're interested in learning about all things biology, please subscribe and like this video, and then I can't wait to get started.